Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Roll Jump Media Podcast. This is our third installment. I am your co host, Ray. I also have my co host joining me, Andres, and we also have our guests, Jose and Luis.
What's
Hey
up,
guys,
everyone?
what's up?
Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. How you guys feeling today?
Good.
Pretty good. A little tired, not gonna lie.
It's a morning
It was,
podcast, so
yes,
yeah,
it is.
bright and early.
So we here.
That's right. That's right. All right, so we do have quite a bit of news to go over this week, but you guys already know how this functions. We're gonna go ahead and talk about how what we've been playing throughout the previous week. So, who wants to start off? Has anybody been playing something new, or do you want to give a refresher on what you guys have been playing, if you guys been playing the same thing?
Well, I'll start. I'm still playing Animal Crossing. I
Okay,
mean,
of
it's
course, of
been
course.
it's probably like the main thing that I've been playing right now.
That's pretty
It just
much, yeah, that's
it
pretty
doesn't
much the
get it,
only Nintendo thing out right now too. So,
yeah. Um, and I mean with the April event, the Easter or sorry, Bunny Day event. Um, it's been it's been entertaining. Hasn't gotten boring. Um, by the balloons, which I think a lot of people have expressed their frustrations over that. And I think the game updated it just to change that a little bit. Um, but
Yes, they released a patch.
yeah. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that I've been playing
all right,
this.
yeah. Yeah, we've talked extensively about Animal Crossing in the previous episode. So if you want to hear about Animal Crossing in any shape or form, you can go ahead and hit those up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, Myself, I've been playing Animal Crossing as well. I think, well, because Jose and I, we have the same island. I think Jose has a little bit more to do because he can actually, you know, start building things uh, as a leader.
Oh, so I
But
I had a question about that. So, somebody on my island, they've unlocked the island designer, but I have not yet because I don't play. So those tools aren't going to transfer over to me, even though somebody on my island has those tools readily available.
yeah, you're not the leader of the island.
Um, well, if you start, even if you're on the same island, you're still the representative, right?
No, it's the first person.
The first person who started playing the game becomes the leader of the island.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I'm not the leader then.
Yeah, so you probably won't be able to
Oh, interesting. Okay.
to. But yeah, as I was saying, Jose has more things to do in the island. But I've been playing. I've been working on my house. You know, getting eggs. I've been farming tarantulas to sell out my house. But yeah, it's pretty much it. I also played. I hopped in on Splatoon 2 for a couple of days.
Oh, tell me
Uh,
about this, man. I want to get on Splatoon 2 right when it gets on sale sometime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's gotta be
Good luck
hard
with
for
that.
it. Yeah, it's a Nintendo game. But I've been playing like a multiplayer. Um, it's a really fun game. Like once you get back into it, uh, like it's easily something you can do for hours. So I want to say every 3 hours, the multiplayer mode changes. So you can either get like a what's it called, like a King of the Hill kind of mode, or like the Rainmaker, which is you have to take like this certain object to a goal. Um, eh,
Okay.
and there's I forget like the other modes, but it's pretty fun. It's really time consuming. Getting back to it, like it reminded me how fun it was when I first got it, and it's still fun. It's one of the best multiplayer games in the Switch.
Man, that's high praise. I think once I see that sell, I might, if you're still playing especially, I might actually cop that one.
Like you can see why it gained a lot of like popularity, especially in Japan. But
It's visually appealing. Like the characters,
yeah.
there's nothing really like it.
Mhm. And I mean, you said you were interested in Jala. A lot
Yeah,
of people
yeah.
are like the visuals to it, to Splatoon. So maybe it's a good game to play.
Oh, I don't need any more convincing to get Ninjala, so I don't necessarily have to play Splatoon for that reason, but Splatoon in
Yeah.
general, just its gameplay and its customization really it convinces me to get it at times. Just haven't pulled the trigger yet.
You won't regret it when you do.
All right. All right, should I go next?
Sure.
All right. So, when Resident Evil dropped last Friday, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, that's all I've been playing, really. I just been playing Resident Evil 3. I have too much fun with that game. I probably put multiple. I did. It's not probably. I did put multiple hour sessions into that game just to play through it over and over. I grinded so I can unlock stuff. And it was a pleasure. Didn't feel like a grind to me. I just like being inside that world and just um, having fun killing zombies and seeing how cool Jill is and Carlos is, and it's just amazing. I think it's amazing. Amazing thing to play, amazing thing to witness. So I'm still not tired of it. Last night I actually did a run and I almost finished the whole run, but the last boss got to me, so I couldn't finish it. But I can't wait to go back and actually finish it, and it's gonna be a good time.
That's good.
Yeah.
I have a question. Um, you never did you ever get Resident Evil 2?
No, I never got Resident Evil 2.
Oh, okay. So do you think having played Resident Evil 3, you would want to try Resident Evil 2 or
No,
no?
sir.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Wow. What?
It's
Yeah. Why is that? Like,
uh
what makes Resident Evil 3 like so engaging for you?
I know, I know. Um I want to say it's a bunch of things, but it's really just how the game plays. I've been waiting a long time for a realistic, like you know how Uncharted is a third person shooter
Right.
Yeah.
at its core? I've been waiting for a game with those kind of graphics and that kind of like similar maneuverability to like take the stage again this generation, and I feel like we haven't really gotten one like that since Uncharted and Uncharted 4 at least. And
Right.
I feel like Resident Evil 3 is just ticking all those boxes for me. The shooting's smooth. The dodging is engaging because it's difficult to master, but it's so cool looking. So even if you just pull it off because you just got lucky,
Right.
um, it's still fun. So and it gets even funner when you actually know what you're doing. So basically, just that gameplay loop of that satisfying shooting, different kinds of weapons, being able to dodge. That's it's pretty much as simple as that, really.
Nice.
Okay, I don't
I
know.
could,
I don't. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut you off there for a second, Ray. I don't
Yeah,
know if y'all are watching like TV or something, but we're getting some kind of like disturbance on the call.
yeah. I think probably somebody's volume's a little bit high on on their end.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, it might have been.
All right, that's good.
So
That's good. We fixed it towards the beginning.
yeah. So yeah. Any other thoughts on Resident Evil, Ray, or no?
No, I don't. I feel like if I talk more, I'm gonna spoil something, so I don't want to do that. But I
Okay.
don't know if Luigi has any more questions or
No, that's basically it. I just was curious about,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
made Resident Evil 3 more appealing to you,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's I think I articulated why pretty well.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to give away too much. I feel like cuz I like for me this is going to be a rant more than a review, but I also don't know how much I can rant without giving away too much. But I mean basically all I'm going to say is that there was a lot of there was a lot of changes. Some were good, some were bad. For me personally, like it was kind of like an overall, like I don't know, like what, like the first couple of days, like when we first started last week, I enjoyed the game thoroughly, right? But then you and I were live streaming yesterday,
Hmm.
and well, actually, it was even before that. Like 2 days ago, I came to the realization that I was just like, wait a minute, what do I actually like about this game? And it kind of like threw me on this. It kind of threw me off and like set me on this loop because I was just like, what do I like about the game? Like
Yeah,
seriously, what do
yeah,
I actually like about it? And I got kind of mad. I got kind of mad because they changed like they changed a lot of stuff. And I mean, again, like I'm limiting to what I'm actually saying because I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
right.
But it's just it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. Which maybe that might be too much already. That might be too much of information already. But
I don't think it is.
the fact that you liked it so much, like that's like it threw some flags up for me on the first day. Like when you said that, oh, you're willing to try this, I was like,
I didn't just say I
mm,
was willing to try that. I said it was gonna be a pleasure to play through this game just from the
yeah.
demo.
Well, yeah, that right then should have been a sign. Like that should have thrown all kinds of flags.
Cause you know
And
me,
it
you know
did.
I do not like scary stuff. I'm
Yeah,
not usually a big fan of scary anything.
yeah. I mean, so like it should have hit me a little bit more. Like it should have it like I should have understood it. Like I should have realized it more at the moment. Like it was just kind of something that like I noted, but I didn't think too much about. But you know, yeah. So I've been I've been trying. You and I both tried to run yesterday,
Hmm.
and I mean I was playing angrily for the most part because like I was just like like it's not that I don't think the game was fun because it's a nice take. It's a nice take. But I mean, as someone that has played the original, like I kept looking through it with nostalgia glasses, even though I tried not to.
Mhm.
I tried to be like as objective as possible and unbiased, but I just couldn't help it. I couldn't help it, and it it was just so it was just so distant from what I expected it to be.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
would you say that Resident Evil 2 is better than Resident Evil 3?
Yeah, I was talking. Yeah, we were talking about this the other day, and honestly, from the original two, like Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, I favored I favored Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I wasn't a huge I mean I was a fan, but if I had a choice between playing 1, 2 and 3, I would play 3 then 1 then 2. Like 2 was kind of like the last one I would play. I don't know why. It's not that I didn't like it cuz I did. It's just I favored the other two over that one. Like of the
Yeah.
original trilogy, that was kind of like my least favorite.
But Claire though,
But yeah, I mean even still. But then with the remake trilogy, honestly, like I think Resident Evil 3 would probably be the last one I play. That would be my least likely to play
for the remake trilogy.
for the remake trilogy. Yeah,
Gotcha,
because I
gotcha.
mean, even though remake one came out all the way back in the GameCube, I mean it's been remastered for the PlayStation 4,
Hmm.
and I have that copy. But I mean, even that one, like even though it's kind of like like it's already like a dated remake,
Hmm.
I
Yes.
think that they still kind of kept to the story more than uh remake 3 did. So I think this time my order would be Remake 2, Remake 1, and then Remake 3. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Right.
see, I thought I
interesting.
thought Remake 2 from last year. I thought it was beautifully done. It's like it's almost like a one for one like remake. Like it's a like shot for shot almost. With the exception being, of course, like the in the original, like Mr. X, the tyrant would only come out on the B scenarios, and this time, like, no, like he shows up constantly, like on both scenarios, right? They nemesisified him. If they like the original Mr. X wasn't as like he wasn't as well like he wasn't as nemesis as he is in this one. And I think that kind of did have like a new level of fear to remake 2.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is that, like, I mean, I think that had to do something with how they changed up Nemesis, because they made Mr. X so much like Nemesis that they kind of had to
They
they had to
couldn't.
up the standard. They
Yeah,
had to
they
up the
couldn't really do
standard,
the same thing again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they just be kind of like a tired old. It's basically just a reskin Mr. X. So, honestly, for me, yeah, like Remake 2 was pretty good. Like they played it safe. They played it safe. They kept everything pretty much the same. A couple of differences here and there, but nothing too major. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was beautifully done. But Remake 3, like Resident Evil 3, man, to me they didn't do it a service. Which makes me call into question, like, what is Capcom doing? Because it's just like, by the way, Ray, we need to keep a time on this because I don't want this rant to go on too long.
All right. Yeah, you can go for a couple more minutes.
Okay, so everybody knows what a big flop, at least to the players. What big flop Resident Evil 6 was. But then Resident Evil 7 brought back, it brought back the series to its survival horror roots, right? So then after that, they did, Remake 2. And Remake 2, beautiful. It was good. It stayed true to what Resident Evil should and always has been. Or not always has been, but what it should have been.
Yeah.
But then I felt with this one, like it was a little bit too action oriented. It's like they tried to go back to like Resident Evil 5 almost, where like they kind of try to blend the horror with the action, and it's just like, no, like, stop. Just stop what you're doing. Please don't do that. Go back. I know that at some point they're trying to appeal to like the new generation, like, cuz people nowadays when they game, like, they're not like, the majority is not like the people that are like us, like, the hardcore like Nintendo fans. The majority right now is like all these Call of Duty players. And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I'm not a fan. That's not my type of genre.
I
But
think
like, I
yeah.
feel that like a lot of games are trying to like call to like the majority.
I
The the
yeah, yeah.
the the norm, I guess, if you want to call it, like, of the populace. And it's just like they're trying to like kind of blend that, like, the action gameplay into everything else. And it's just like, no, like, like, I get what you're doing. You're trying to call more people over to your series. But if it's gonna fundamentally change what what it's supposed to be, which for Resident Evil is a survival horror, like, then don't. Like, it's not worth it. Like, you're just gonna piss off the people that have been loyal to the franchise for years.
Yeah,
I hear you. I feel like the generation you're talking about, they're the majority, but I feel like our age is probably buying the most games, probably. I don't know. I don't have facts for this, but we're still pretty important, so
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know.
but I
Yeah.
mean, like, it's mainly people our age that are playing like stuff like Call of Duty, like
Yeah,
in
yeah,
their
yeah.
early, mid, and late 20s. Like, they're all it's basic. We're still all part of the same generation. Because I
Yeah,
mean,
true.
if you call back to like when we were like in, I don't know, high school, right? Like, what was everybody talking about, like, when it came to video games? Like, it wasn't necessarily people talking about like, oh, the new Super Mario Galaxy or anything
I
like that.
try to push Metroid Prime 3 in in junior high, and I don't. I think I was the only one.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think I was
See,
the only one. Yeah.
but like whenever you heard anybody like talk about like video games and stuff, it was always like, oh, I'm playing Call of Duty, or I'm playing, whatever. I don't know. I don't really know too much about that genre of games, so like I don't really know. Like Call of Duty
Yeah.
seems to be the main one, right?
Call of Duty's, yeah. You just say Call of Duty and we get what you're talking about. Yeah.
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 So I mean, that's really what people talk about the most nowadays, and it's just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
again, I mean, there's it's not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just it's not. I don't find it appealing. It's not my type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just, I feel like Capcom was just like is trying to appeal to those people also, and it's like, no, just no. Just
Yeah.
leave
Exist
Resident
in its
Evil, leave
identity.
Resident Evil alone. Like there's plenty other. You can appeal to people in another different way. You can make another series if you want. That's what they did with Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry was supposed to be Resident Evil 4, but it was just so different that they ended up becoming its own series, right? So they could do another thing. They could do something else.
True. But I'm just glad I got to experience Jill's character.
Yeah.
I'm really
Well,
glad
see,
I
I'm
did.
glad you liked it. I'm glad
Yeah.
you liked it. Like, I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Um, it took me for a surprise that you were more into it than I was. Really,
Yeah,
it really did.
that's surprising
But
too.
it's just there was a lot of things that I could not overlook.
Yeah. Yeah. And I totally get that perspective, especially coming off the original and that being one of your favorite games. I totally get it. All right.
Anyways, let's move on because we're gonna take too much time with this.
Yeah. All right. Good call. Good call. All right. So our first news segment has to do with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Similarly to last week, we're just going to go ahead and go over the different scores that have been posted for this game so far. Thankfully, a lot of review sites have done reviews of this already. So overall, Final Fantasy VII Remake is sitting at a 87 critic score and an 81 user score.
Mm.
Oh,
All right,
that's
so
interesting.
so it's in the 80s. High 80s for critics, low 80s for user. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull three different excerpts from different outlets. GameSpot, GameSpot was very high on it, gave it 100, and they said Final Fantasy VII Remake is a quote-unquote astounding achievement. And for the rest of the review, they said that the wait was worth it. IGN gave it an 80, saying that Final Fantasy VII Remake mostly manages to deliver. The review goes on to praise the combat, enemy variety, and the story, and it ends by saying that the boring um, RPG filler and Kingdom Hearts-esque convolution that was inserted in between did stop my ear-to-ear grin from being constant, but never long enough to kill the mood completely.
Why would they bring Kingdom Hearts into this?
Why
Why?
that Kingdom Hearts jab
Yeah,
though?
Yeah, why?
Kingdom
Nah,
Hearts
nah,
S
nah. See, now I
convolution.
take offense at that. I take offense at that.
Yeah, convolution. I I mean, yeah. All right, all right.
No, next.
Okay, okay. And then US Gamer was on the lower end. They gave it a 70, saying that Final Fantasy VII Remake sets out to fully reimagine a classic RPG with improved combat and expanded story. Unfortunately, it's hurt by weak side quests and a surplus of padding, and its biggest change is bound to be controversial. It's one of the most coherent and enjoyable Final Fantasy releases in years, but it's also likely to be one of the most divisive.
Hmm, okay.
So most of the reviews do go towards the GameSpot IGN bar, and there's a few reviews that go towards the US Gamer bar.
But even then, like even the IGN ones said like that the filler, meaning side quests too, right? We're
Yeah,
kind of like, so it sounds to me like if you're into it for like the completionist in you, like if you want to do like the whole, like you want to do like 100% run or whatever, it sounds like the side quests are not really fulfilling.
yeah. It seems like there wasn't much inspiration it's done into them. I haven't played it yet, but yeah, it seems like there's much to be desired in that department.
Yeah. So just to throw a little salt at you, Ray,
No,
how mad are you that I have it and you don't? Let's make the conversation a
I
little
want
interesting.
I want to say that I'm mad, but I have Jill still, dude,
Yeah,
and
I know.
and
I
Jill
think
Jill
I
is
think I
amazing.
I think I'm more mad that you're enjoying Resident Evil 3 versus you being mad at me for having Final Fantasy.
I'm not that mad. I mean, you'll experience Tifa before I do. Their take of Tifa in the remake. I'm gonna be a little upset, but I'll get over it. You haven't played it yet, so the salt hasn't.
Hasn't fully set in.
Yeah, once you
Well,
start playing, I think I'm
just
gonna
wait until this
be seething a
podcast is
little bit.
over. Just wait
You should
until this
play it and
podcast is
send
over.
him pictures. Be
Send
like,
him
oh,
incessant
look at the
pictures every
graphics,
five
right?
minutes.
This game is so beautiful, right?
I said I don't want to see
But
You know
nothing.
what? I could be mean. I could be mean and take pictures of like the title screen and send it to him because he hasn't even seen that. And if I ruin that for him, that'll probably break us. I will honestly break. He would not appreciate that.
Oh
I
no.
wouldn't
yeah,
go
with
that
this
far.
quarantine,
I think what
it's
I'll
hard.
do is like I'll take a picture of my reactions and send that to him. I think that'll suffice.
And you embellish your reactions so it looks like you're having even more fun than you actually are, and it's convincing.
But how would you know what? You know what would make you even more mad is if those feelings were actually genuine. Because I
So,
was on the fence about getting Final Fantasy.
hey, you
I
never
was on the
know.
fence because I was like 80% there. I was just like, okay, there's like a 1 in 5 chance that I won't get this. And you
Yeah.
tried so hard to get me not to buy it. You tried so hard. You were like, nah, son, like you don't need it. You don't need it. Like I didn't pre-order it, so I didn't get none of the pre-order bonuses because you were like, "No, you shouldn't get it, boy. Don't do it. Don't do it."
Well, to
And
be
then the
fair,
day
you were
of,
like
like,
on the fence kinda, and I didn't want to
I
push you
was,
to
yeah,
dropping
I was on the
60.
fence, but
Yeah.
you were not helping. You were feeding the fire. You were like, "Nope, you shouldn't. Nope, don't do it." So you took it from a 1 in 5 to like a 2 out of 3 chance that I was not, or that I was going to. You
Mm-hmm.
lowered the percentage
I see. I
by a
see. I
lot.
see.
You made me doubt it. You made me doubt it so much. So I ended up buying day one with no pre-order bonuses, like standard edition. I could always upgrade to the deluxe, right? Because the PlayStation Store
It's
the
an
deluxe
upgrade
bundle
option.
available separately.
Yeah.
But
Yes. You have it on your PlayStation at the end of the day, and I do not yet.
that's
So
right.
that's just how it is right now. Imagine if it's gonna be RE3 in reverse. Like you're gonna freaking love it, and I'm gonna have gripes
You
with
never
it.
know.
And you're gonna hate it. Oh, that you took Resident Evil from me, and I take Final Fantasy from you.
Imagine.
That would be the absolute worst case scenario for the both of us.
Well, the
Exactly.
reason I haven't played it, we played the demo. Um, I think that was one of the last things we did before this quarantine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was the last thing, right? Um,
It probably was. It probably was.
and I mean, you guys were there. You guys saw. I kind of struggled a little bit with the control. I'm not used to that type of game. Um, but I mean, from what I saw, but I mean, from what I saw, it looked like a good game.
Mm-hmm.
It was very engaging. Obviously, I never played the original, so I don't have that, um, like that history, that background with it, that connection that I guess a lot of people have with that game.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything to compare it to. If I were to play it, I wouldn't have anything to compare it to. So it would be like a brand new experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I mean, hearing those reviews, it seems that most of the reviews did a good job at separating it from like the original, or trying to judge it, based
Mm-hmm.
on
What it
its
is
own.
than what it
Not,
was.
yeah, not comparing it to the original. And if those reviews are are correct, then it does seem like the game maybe struggles a little bit with you know engaging the player, through side quests and kind of, you know, making it more focused, I guess.
It's
Mm.
convoluted.
Yeah, I guess they say it's convoluted, but I mean, I'd be willing to give it a try. It looks interesting, and I mean, it never hurts to try a new series, a new franchise, and
Yeah, yeah.
possibly falling in love with it. So
I'm usually not the best judge of story because I usually don't pay much attention or a lot of attention to the details. Like I will every now and then, but it's usually Andres that really pays attention to those little details in games. So for me, when I play Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PlayStation 4 when it was remastered, I really didn't remember much of the story beats at all. Like I really don't. I just know that you just fight enemies, you go along with your party, and you just have a good time really. So that's what I liked about the game. It was just it was just a good time. I really don't remember much of the story at all. So playing through the remake is going to be a interesting endeavor for me for sure.
are you excited?
Yeah, dude. Heck yeah, I'm excited.
You've been waiting for it, right? For like
Yeah, I've been waiting for it. I saw the initial reveal back in 2015. I was watching the E3 coverage of it live.
that's
Yeah, and I was excited. I was excited.
It's crazy.
Yeah. E3 2015. It's been almost 5 years.
And now you have that. That's a lot of time. You
Yeah,
have to
it's
wait
a
for like
long time. It's all right. Persona filled the void in the meantime. All right. Any more thoughts about what the reviews have been saying about Final Fantasy VII Remake so far?
And no, not necessarily.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, Nomura, he's the director of this game, so he's also the head of the Kingdom Hearts series. So there might be some parallels there. That's why some reviewers are seeing those. But I don't think. I think I trust Nomura because he was also a big part in the original.
Well, from what I saw, like a lot of like the original uh development team is there too, because they got
Yeah,
back the original composer,
the
the
original.
producer, the director, like
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of the people that worked on the original worked on the remake too, which you gotta admit is pretty favorable as far as the game's development is concerned.
Yes, yes. I'm very glad they got a lot of the critical team back together to bring this to life for everybody. All right, so it seems like we're going to go ahead and move on from Final Fantasy VII. I guess depending on how much we like it and how fast we finish it, we might talk about it a little bit more down the road. So stay tuned for that one.
sounds good for sure.
Yeah. All right, so the next big thing that happened this previous week, PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation team out of nowhere, they dropped details about how their controller is going to look and how it's going to function. So PlayStation on their PlayStation blog, they released a lot of details. That is a very, very long post. I did read through most of it, but it was a couple days ago. So what I did was that I pulled from a GameSpot article by Steve Watts and Chloe Rad. They put together a all the details about the controller in one place, which was very convenient. So these are the main details about the upcoming PlayStation controller for the PS5. First and foremost, you know how the light bar is in the back of the PlayStation 4 controller? There's like a little light indicator.
Hmm.
It's going to be in the front of the controller where like in the crevices where the touchpad is really. And it's going to be two tone. So it's the configuration they showed during the reveal was white around the button part and the touchpad, and below that it transitions into black. So it's white and black, which is a very very new look for Sony.
Right.
Um, Other features, there's going to be a built-in mic into the controller. So if you do not have a headphone and on you readily and you want to just talk to somebody else in your party, you can just go ahead and use that functionality through the controller. Instead of a share button, it's going to be a create button. And it's just going to be an evolution on what the share button already does, offering, I would imagine, new features for you to more easily share your gameplay with the world. Uh, Three other ones, haptic feedback. So what haptic feedback is, what it boils down to is how intricate the rumble is inside the controller. So you know how there back in the day there was rumble packs and how the rumble kind of just rumbled for any situation really.
Hmm.
So what haptic feedback is that the rumble is going to be different depending on what situation you are in the game. So it might be an intense rumble, or it might be a lower intensity rumble, or a shorter rumble, things like that, to make you feel like you're actually experiencing what you are in the game. So supposedly it's the same technology as the HD rumble found in the Switch Pro controllers and the Joy-Con controllers. Adaptive triggers, along the same vein of the haptic feedback, kinda. The triggers are going to provide resistance depending on what situation you are in the game. And the controller as a whole has a new shape, and that shape is primarily to fit in all the new features that I described previously in the controller. So, has anybody been able to see a picture of the controller or read up on it in any shape or form?
I mean, I
Yeah.
saw the image of it, but I don't remember. I don't remember too much about how it looks. It was just kind of like a passing glance, really.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember looking at like it was kind of like white or something with like clear buttons.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a big thing. There's no pink square, blue X. It's clear. You're correct. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
That's another big branding feature. So that's interesting.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. So it all sounds good. It's nothing really striking about it. Just a lot of quality of life kind of features to find on the controller. Nothing too groundbreaking, in my opinion.
Okay. I saw a lot of people were like praising it. Like a lot of people love the design. Um, I think it's a nice design. I saw a lot of mock-ups of like different color variations that they could
Mm.
potentially like release,
Yeah, yeah. I saw.
and
Yeah. Go ahead.
some of those look really nice. So
The mock-up ones,
I
not the one that they released.
no, well, the other release is nice too.
Okay, okay, got you.
I did see a lot of comparisons to the Xbox controller.
It does
Um,
look more Xboxy. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I mean, we'll just have to wait and see, to actually hold one to see, how much, how many similarities they actually have. But as far as like the design wise, it does resemble the Xbox one. But yeah, I don't know. I just want them to reveal games now. What
Yeah,
games are coming to the
don't
PS?
we all, man? Don't we all?
Like,
Um,
I wanna.
Well, you know what? Nothing beats the train wreck that was like the initial concept for the PlayStation 3 control. You know that boomerang looking thing? You remember that?
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, that gray one.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, so honestly, like whatever ends up, if that really is the final design of the PS5 control, I mean, it doesn't bother me none. It looks fine. It looks what I would thought, what I think a new console generation control looks like. Because we all know that Sony could have done a lot worse.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just copy and paste it. Not generate any hype whatsoever.
And this one's called the Dual Sense, right?
Yeah, Dual Sense. It went from Dual Shock to Dual Sense. So
Correct,
does
correct.
that mean that like since they've all been Dual Shock for like the Rumble feature, right? So does that mean that like since it's now Dual Sense, like it's gonna be like Dual Sense 1 instead of Dual Sense 5?
Huh. No, I didn't get that impression. I feel like if they were going to do another one, they'll probably call it something different.
Yeah. So no,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure because because now it's dual sense. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like the first one. So like, say eventually when like PlayStation 6 comes out, like it'll probably be dual sense 2 or something.
DualSense 2.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about the DualSense. It's not a bad name.
No.
No.
I think it's kind of exciting because, I mean, for them to actually bother to, rebrand or come out with something new, it just, I don't know, it kind of,
Well, yeah.
it
I mean,
shows that
basically
they're,
they did rebrand the control,
mm,
right? Because I mean,
yeah,
they've had the DualShock, DualShock 2, DualShock 3, DualShock 4. So now that they've changed it to DualSense, like it's clear that they're trying to say like, hey, this is not the control that we've had for like generations. Like it's not just an update. Like this is something entirely new. So of
yeah,
course, it's definitely exciting because who knows what other features it has that they haven't revealed yet. Because I
yeah,
doubt if they did reveal everything about the control already. Because again, like I said, I didn't read up on any articles concerning the control or anything. But
Mm.
I mean, if whether or not they did reveal like the entire like capabilities of it, it's still gonna be exciting to see like how differently it handles and all the new features it has and stuff like that. So
Do you guys remember first holding a PS4 controller and remember and feeling how great it felt compared to the PS3 controller? Or is that just
yeah,
me?
I remember it felt like, well, it felt bigger, obviously. Uh,
Yeah.
I remember, I got used to playing with the PS4 controller. Uh, I was playing Uncharted 4, and then I would go back to the PS3, and it felt so,
Baby controller
yes,
and uncomfortable.
right. It felt so small and so like, how did I even play with this controller? Um, so that's one of the things. Like, I want to see how it feels in your hands.
Y-
Pause.
yes, yes. All right.
Oh, one thing I do hope that they fix is the light that you mentioned. I hope they have the option of like turning it off or something. Because with the PS4, that's one of like my biggest gripes is that the blue light is on all the time, you know? So it's kind
Yeah,
of,
all you can do is dim it. It's kind of strange why they
yeah,
just turn it off.
I don't know why. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope they fix that, but I don't know. I'm excited to see what
well, it's
what
because
else they'll
like
offer.
in like a handful of games that actually like like one that comes off the top of my head is like Until Dawn. The light bar acted like a sensor, and it's
Yeah,
basically it kind of like enhanced well, yeah, I mean, I guess that would be the proper way to explain it. Like it kind of enhanced like the gameplay in a sense because there was some scenes in that game where like you had to be completely still, and obviously like since it didn't have VR functionality, it's not like, oh, you had the headset and it could tell whether or not you moved. Like, if you move the controller, like that counted as you, like, whether or not you stayed still. So I feel like in like the light bar did have some functionality, just not a lot of games took advantage of it. So I mean I understand that a lot of people, yeah, they kind of wanted to turn the light off. I mean, it didn't bother me none, because a lot of games did actually use it. Like Resident Evil 3. Like if you don't want to be opening the menu to check your health, like you could use the light bar to tell you like where your health is at. You know?
Yeah, you can. I saw a lot of
yeah,
red yesterday.
Yeah. And then there's other games too, like Tales of Zestiria, where like if you armatized with one of your Seraph characters, like the light bar would change to the color corresponding to the element. So like red for fire, green for wind, like yellowish orange for earth, you know, blue for water. So I mean, a
It's
lot
a
of
nice
there's
touch.
a couple of games that did actually make use of the light bar. It's a shame that not many of them did, but
Yeah. And the touchpad too, like the touchpad, in the beginning, there was a game called Infamous Second Son, and to fire off abilities, I believe, you would swipe on the deep on the pad.
okay.
So it was pretty intuitive. It was fun to use, and Oh no, that was for Warframe. I don't know what Infamous was, but Infamous, because it was a first party exclusive, you had to they were kind of obligated in a way by Sony, I'm thinking, to use the functionality.
Mm.
So I think they have some intuitive ways of how to interact with the environments, but the touchpad was kind of instrumental in the gameplay as well for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I believe the touchpad, I didn't confirm it, but they have a big section for the touchpad to be there, so I'm pretty sure the touchpad is going to be making its return. Let's see. Any more thoughts on the controller?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah. It just comes down to everybody wanting to actually hold it to see how it
Yeah.
feels. Yeah. All right, so we have three more stories. Depending on your guys' familiarity with the stories, we can stop and talk about them. But I thought these were important to bring up as they did transpire during the week. First thing, Google Stadia. You guys remember what Google Stadia was?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so Google Stadia, what they did for people is that they're offering a 2 month trial to everybody with a Gmail account. Google Stadia Pro. What comes with the Google Stadia Pro is 9 free games for you to play, and it varies depending on like the month or the day. Because before they had like things like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, um, Samurai Showdown, and some other games that were pretty cool, but unfortunately those have been rotated for something else. So they do rotate, but those are 9 free games that you can try out during Stadia for 2 months, and all you got to do is have a decent connection to the internet, and you'll have a pretty good time playing whatever games they're offering. You can stream those games up to 4K, 60 frames per second, and that feature is exclusive to Stadia Pro, that kind of resolution. So I thought that was pretty cool for them to do. But if you do activate that 2 month trial, they will try to charge you. So if you don't want to if you don't want to keep the service and you don't want to get charged, then be sure to cancel that subscription. Have you
Um,
guys tried Google Stadia?
no.
No.
And honestly, it doesn't appeal to me at all.
Oh yeah,
Like I don't
yeah.
know what it is about it. I don't know. It's just like
It's cause
okay,
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know how to explain.
It's because they're taking the experiences that we've already had on consoles basically, and they're just putting it
Yeah,
on another service. But
yeah,
a cool service at that. But like I'm not like inclined to
yeah.
play
Like
those on
I don't
Stadia.
like. I didn't see the demand for that for them for Google to be like, hey, we're gonna offer this. Well, actually, because I mean, Steam is kind of similar to that,
Steam
no?
is
Because I
Steam
mean, it has
yeah,
a variety.
Steam is kind of like the main kind of like think of PlayStation 4 how it has its own operating system kind of deal. How you're
Hmm.
used to that ecosystem. The Steam is kind of like that premier ecosystem on PC basically. It's not really a streaming service per se. But yeah, Stadia has some work to do to keep catch up with everybody else in the game. I think they're trying to do some exclusives
Yeah, they need
to
games basically.
yeah, some exclusives to try to get people more on board. I think they need those titles to help.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been what, 1 year since they announced Stadia?
Uh,
Around?
'Cause they talked about it during E3 last year, and I think they even came before E3. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
been a
it's gonna be
while.
a year at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next story. The next story is about Valorant. Have you guys seen Valorant on social media or anywhere? The game?
I have not.
You
I've
haven't?
heard about it, but I haven't really seen any gameplay or anything about it, or any details. I tried looking it up last night just to see what kind of game it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just like a really quick glance at it.
Yeah, so it's not really our forte too much. If anybody, I'm probably the one that's probably going to try it out.
Hmm.
But I can go ahead and give you an overview of what it is. So what Valorant is it's a tactical. Well, first, well, before I go into what it is, like I want to give an overview of how popular this game is. So Valorant is made by the same people that do League of Legends, the Riot Games, and pretty much everybody knows that League of Legends is essentially the pretty much the biggest game on the planet. It's on the
Right.
PC exclusively, and they're actually making a version that's going to be on consoles, I believe, in the I think next year or the year after, or something like that. I'm pretty excited for that, so I can share why League of Legends is so fun with you guys. But so the same team, or I don't know if it's the same team, but the same company made Valorant, and currently on Twitch, Final Fantasy VII Remake just came out, and when I checked the numbers, I think I checked it last night, and there were 166,000 people streaming Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Valorant had, or not streaming, viewing, 166,000 people viewing the game, and there was 1.2 million people viewing Valorant at the same time.
Damn,
Yeah. So the game is
it's
freaking
pretty good.
it's very popular to a lot of people. So what the game is, it's a first person shooter. It's a tactical first person shooter. Similar to Counter-Strike. So Counter-Strike is a tactical first person shooter, and it's been around for a while, and a lot of people have gravitated towards it. The thing that Valorant does different though is that it takes elements from different franchises as well, like Overwatch and Rainbow Six Siege, and they kind of combine them into a new experience. So it's basically a first-person shooter with abilities that you would find in Overwatch, how certain characters have different abilities for them to use during a match. And the objective of the game is for you to score up first to 13. So what you have to do is you have to take this spike or this like a module, and you either have to defend it from the enemy team, or if you're on offense, you have to take the module and plant it. I'm not sure what the details is where you need to plant it or whatever, but depending on if you were successful in your objective, then you get a point. And in at the beginning of every round, you can buy weapons and you can share the funds within your team. So it's kind of like a strategic element to it as well. So it's kind of like it's just a first-person shooter with a new, fresh take, basically. And I know it's not our forte, but I thought it was our duty to bring this up because it's just hitting the right things with so many people. And I understand because first-person shooters like Apex, that's kind of probably our closest wheelhouse. They are appealing, so I get the appeal. Um, I'm probably gonna keep tabs on it because I love Riot. I like what Riot Games does, and
Right.
it looks like it's going to pop off in a big way. So if you wanted to just like keep tabs on what's going on with that game, I would recommend it.
It's something I will try, just to see how it plays.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
is this game out already?
It's in beta, so it's not even out yet, and there's 1.2 million people watching it. They want to get access to the beta, I believe, and I believe people who are streaming it have keys, maybe. So yeah, it's just a big movement right now that Valorant has. It's actually pretty insane how popular it is. All right, so our final news, our news story. Sorry, I don't know why I stuttered a little bit on that one. Final news story of the day. Cyberpunk. So Cyberpunk will not be launching on the next generation consoles. So it's going to take a little bit for them to get a version out for the PS5 and the Xbox One X. And the game is going to have at least as much DLC, downloadable content, as The Witcher 3. This was reported by one of the outlets was by Andy Robinson and Tom Ivan from Video Game Chronicle. Cyberpunk is going to release on September 17th. So not much surprising news here. this is like the first talk we've gotten from existing developers about the possibility of their games coming to the next generation of consoles.
Mhm.
Um, how are you guys feeling about Cyberpunk and what they just stated right now?
So, um, well, I don't have experience with their games.
Yeah, okay.
Uh, yeah, CD Project Red. It's something I would like to try. The Witcher specifically. From what I've seen of Cyberpunk, I mean, the whole like Keanu Reeves reveal kind of, it's like a plus. But it's the type of game that I want to play or I'm interested in playing. Eh,
Mm-hmm.
in regards to the not releasing next gen consoles or taking a while for them to release the game in next gen console,
Yeah.
I think it's fine. Eh, you know, I actually kind of like that because a lot of people because this game was announced for PS4, right, and
Yes.
Xbox.
Yes.
Eh, I know a lot of studios and a lot of like companies like to say that and then release the game on next gen console, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eh, so to me, it's kind of you know, it's them being honest about it and saying, well, it's gonna take a while for to release it on next gen consoles, but you'll be able to play it on the consoles we marketed the game for.
Right.
Like this is a PS4 game. This is next. You don't have to worry about well, what if a better version comes right next to it, right?
Right. Right. Right.
So I appreciate that from them. But yeah, that's basically my take.
Got you. Like people who are Project Red fans, they treat their fans so well because the DLC for The Witcher is basically its own full-length game, probably even more longer than a typical game on the market. I think it was like around a few dozen hours, like 40-ish.
Right,
Yeah, I think somebody from IGN reported. I don't know about the actual numbers, but somebody from IGN estimated that it was about 40-ish hours
right.
to do the
That was
DLC, and it's all and it
Wild
was
Hunt,
free,
right?
and it's just free to everybody to just go ahead and get that.
That was Wild Hunt.
It was yes, Witcher 3,
Wild Hunt. Yeah.
Wild Hunt.
Didn't the game win like a Game of the Year award?
I believe in 2015 when it released, it did win a lot of Game of the Years. It was pretty much the
Yeah.
game of that year. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I mean they're known for releasing like good content, and I mean I appreciate that from any developer. So
Yeah. Yeah. So best of luck to well, they probably don't need it too much, but best of luck to CD Project Red and Cyberpunk 2077. You guys are excited about Keanu, right? I know a lot of us are.
yeah,
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 everybody was losing their minds over Keanu.
It's a nice Easter egg. I just
yeah.
can't remember some
Fan service.
fancy.
Yeah. So we did just go over pretty much every news story for today that I slated for us to talk about. Are there any final thoughts about anything that were talked about today before we go ahead and end the show?
Mm, not really. I just wanted to mention like something like extra. I don't know you guys heard, but there was like this rumor um this past week, I believe, that
Okay.
there's gonna be like a Resident Evil 8. That it's gonna be first person, I believe.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and I forget the details, but
Yeah.
it's a rumor, that they're working on it.
All right. I
I
wasn't
think it's
actually.
similar to RE7, but I don't know. Again, it's just a rumor. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about that?
RE8 rumor.
Right.
Um,
Because we've
I
seen,
like yeah.
the
Oh, go ahead.
remakes, right? And then
Yeah.
there's the Resident Evil 7, the kind of direction they went with the first person um, perspective. So, would you
Yeah,
like to see a
got
Resident
you.
Evil 8 more on the remake direction or on the direction the mainline series is taking.
All right, so you're saying how Resident Evil 7 left off the series compared to how the remakes are
Right.
doing? Okay. I prefer the remakes, the remake
Same.
format. Yeah. The first
Right.
Yeah, I
person,
think
first
Resident
person
Evil
was
7,
yeah.
it kind of it revisited or it went back to its horror roots. Um, but I don't know. I feel like the game itself, it's well, at least for me, it kind of just came and went. You know,
Right.
it wasn't too memorable. So I feel like they do. I mean, I like that they went back to the horror aspect of it, but I do hope that with these remakes that they just released that they've been working on, I hope they do incorporate some of that um, into the mainline games um, and give us like a really good Resident Evil game. I'm not saying that the others aren't good, but you know, like
Right, right.
Make expectations.
yeah,
Co-host Andres, are you still there? Will we? What do you think about the RE8 rumors?
Well, I had heard something about it earlier, like earlier this week too. That I guess in Japan, like with because Resident Evil 3 got some mixed reviews, that the development team, I guess they basically asked the fans like, do you want another remake or should we go on ahead with the with Resident Evil 8?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe right now in Japan there's a survey, going on asking precisely that, like, do you want another remake? Should another Resident Evil game get the remake treatment, or should we just push on ahead with Resident Evil 8? Honestly, in my opinion, if if they do a remake, which I think they also mentioned it in their interview too, was if they do go with the remake route, they said that it's going to be either one of the spin-off titles like the Outbreak series or Resident Evil Revelations,
hmm
or like Code Veronica even. But like the numbered titles like Resident Evil 4, 5 and 6, like they're not going to those are not eligible for the remake yet,
Yeah.
for the remake treatment yet. So, in my opinion, or well, my speculation would be that like if they do go with the remake route, probably Code Veronica would be next. And honestly, like in my opinion, they already ruined Resident Evil 3. Like just for me, in my opinion, like they ruined it. So please don't do that to Code Veronica, because remake Resident Evil 3 Nemesis and Code Veronica were like those were my games, those were those
Mm-hmm.
those were my childhood right there. I would personally not want them to. Like if they do what they did with Resident Evil 3, no. If they play it safe and just kept it like 1-to-1 like they did with Remake 2, then yes. But again, like you don't like who knows what their intentions would be. So I think for me, just because I don't want to take that chance, I think they should just push on ahead with Resident Evil 8 and just see what they do.
I
So
see.
that's my 2 cents on the matter.
Yeah. You think others are gonna be in the same mindset and be a little bit more trepidatious if they did go for the next remake instead of
I'm
Resident
sure
3?
there has to be people out there that probably share my sentiments.
Yeah.
Um, just because I like the reviews last week that you had gone off, like how you did the review scores from like IGN and stuff. Like they praised the game, like it being like it was like in the 90s and stuff like that, right? Like it was pretty high up on the ratings.
I think IGN was a 90, I believe, and GameSpot was they were hard on it. They gave it a 6.
Okay, see, so I mean I know that the overall consensus, just from what I've seen, is that a lot of people are not happy with the remake. Um,
Yeah, the people that are most vocal aren't the ones that are enjoying it, that are new to the series. It's the fans that have been there
yeah,
since
it's
day
it's
one.
it's the longtime fans,
Yeah,
yeah, that are more vocal about are criticizing the game more.
yeah,
Um, And I mean, again, I would love to be one of those people. Like I honestly like I try to be as objective as possible and unbiased.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because like no matter what, like that the developers, they put a lot of time and effort into this game. Like they put out something that they were proud of. Something that they really thought the fans would enjoy. And you were one of many fans that enjoyed the game, but I just couldn't help but look look back at the original and try to compare the two. You know.
Yeah, it's inevitable, and they should have prepared for that situation and pleased both to the best of their ability, and I feel like they did not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, my vote would go for them just moving forward with the series. I mean, even if they're asking the fans, I'm pretty sure that they didn't have any intentions on remaking anything else because I mentioned this like privately amongst ourselves that Capcom's like their framework, like they had all the Resident Evils like in the framework that they're currently using right now, which is MT framework.
Mm.
Um, with the exception of Remake 2 and Remake 3 up until last year and this year respectively. Like those were really the last two Resident Evil games that weren't on their current framework. So they could still, it was harder for them to port those games to like like the PlayStation Network for like like the download classics and whatever like that. But I mean, now that they have their own, now that they got the remake treatment, like they're all now on the framework, so it's easier to just port those games to the next console generation. So,
Mm.
like when the PS5 and the Xbox X comes out, I guess, come out, like it's just easier to just port like all the Resident Evil titles now, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I honestly just move ahead. Just like let's not look back anymore. Let's just go forward.
Right.
Hopefully the series like hopefully they pick up where they left off on seven. And they just kind of keep it how they was. If it's in first person, that's okay. I
No,
didn't
it's
mind
not.
Resident Evil
No,
7
no,
being
it's
in
not.
first person.
No, it's not.
Uh,
Not for me. I'm keeping. I don't know.
well,
Not for me.
see that right there. That tells me that's what they should do because like I've been saying all week, the fact that you were interested in Resident Evil at all should have thrown all kinds of flags because you want nothing to do with any scary games.
Yeah.
So
I like the RE4 games. Those are my. That's what I like. RE4 kind of games.
yeah,
Yeah. All right, so we can go ahead and move on from the discussion. Um, I really like the Resident Evil discussion. I feel like it's good to see both viewpoints of somebody who's enjoyed the game and somebody who's been a fan for a while. Before we go ahead and go to the ending of the podcast, I do want to correct that for Witcher 3, a lot of the DLC was free, but some of it was paid. The story DLC, Blood and Wine, and the other one was paid DLC. So a lot of it was free,
Right.
however. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and end the podcast on Pass or Play. All right, I chose another game. Last week it was Donkey Kong Country. This week is going to be a different game. So the quote is, so for this one had the name of the person in it. So what I did was, instead of saying the name, I said blank. So it's going to be blank rather than the actual name.
Right.
All right.
Okay. The tale of blank can now be told. Witness the story of blank's past. Upgrade weapons as you explore. Discover all new moves to attack and finish off enemies. A shorter quote this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting more. It's hard. Um, can you repeat that again? Just one more time.
Yeah. The tale of blank can now be told. Witness the story of blank's past. Upgrade weapons as you explore. Discover all new moves to attack and finish off enemies. Pass or play?
Mm, ooh, that's hard.
You
I
know,
would,
there's not a whole lot of information there. Just
yeah,
based off of that only, like I would have to say pass.
Pass?
Yeah, because it's just it's a little too broad.
Too broad?
I mean, it could literally be anything. Like, there's a lot of games that like involve like the main character's past, so that could literally be anything.
Yeah, that part actually is the one that kind of got me interested, like the explore this character's past. But I mean, yeah, like you said, it's a little too vague. Um, I'll pass
Yeah,
too.
I'm gonna go pass. I'm gonna pass on that one.
Okay, I got two
I'll
passes.
I'll play. From what I hear, it's kind of like well, I imagine it as an adventure game. I like adventure games.
Yeah,
The
you
fact
do.
that it's upgrade your weapons, I don't know. I like that kind of thing as well.
It's tantalizing
So
you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I'll I'll play.
All right, all right. Yeah, next time I'll try to strike a balance between more detail and vagueness. But for this game, it was Metroid Other M.
Yes, I knew. That was my prediction. It was a Mitchell. Other M,
Other M, yes.
isn't it the one that received
The
criticism?
the one that people disliked the most, yes.
Yeah, see, I knew that I
You
was
thought,
right to pass on that because I love me some Metroid,
Yeah.
but I mean Metroid Other M was just it was not it, Chief. And what's that about upgrading your weapons? You do not upgrade your weapons.
Well,
No, no, you do not